The night everything changed began like any other, quiet, predictable, and painfully ordinary. I had always preferred isolation. That's why I worked at the edge of civilization, stationed at a remote deep space listening facility buried in a desert where even the wind seemed hesitant to pass through. My job was simple in theory. Monitor signals, identify anomalies, and report anything that couldn't be explained. In reality, it was hours of silence broken by meaningless static. Until the signal came. It started as a faint pulse, barely noticeable, like a heartbeat hidden beneath layers of noise. At first, I thought it was equipment interference. But the longer I listened, the clearer it became. It was structured, intentional, alive. I leaned closer to the monitor, adjusting frequencies, filtering out background radiation. The signal responded. That's when my stomach dropped. It wasn't random. It was reacting to me. "Hello," I said, half joking, half curious. The speakers crackled. Then silence. And then, "You hear me." The voice didn't come from the speakers. It came from inside my head. I stumbled back, knocking over my chair. My heart pounded so violently it felt like it might tear through my chest. Who is this?" I whispered. A pause followed, long and deliberate. Then, "You are the one who listens beyond the surface. I have been searching for such a mind." I ran to the control panel, checking every system. No breach. No transmission. Nothing that could explain what I was experiencing. "This isn't possible," I muttered. "Your kind often says that," the voice replied, almost amused. The room grew colder. The air felt heavy, as if something unseen had entered the space. Then the lights dimmed. At the center of the room, space itself seemed to bend. A soft glow formed, faint at first, then intensifying into a shape that defied logic. It wasn't solid. It wasn't entirely light. It was something in between. And it was becoming her. Her form shifted constantly, never settling into one appearance. At times she looked vaguely human, tall, elegant, almost impossibly symmetrical. Other times she became something abstract, her edges dissolving into threads of light that curled and twisted like living energy. "You perceive me as female," she said. I guess I do." "Then that form will remain. It eases your mind." I swallowed hard. "What are you?" "I am what your language cannot fully define. But you may think of me as a traveler." "From where?" Her gaze, if that's what it was, lifted slightly, as if pointing beyond the ceiling, beyond the sky. "From far beyond what your species has yet imagined." I should have been terrified enough to run. But I wasn't, because beneath the fear, there was something stronger, an overwhelming curiosity that had defined my entire life. "Why are you here?" I asked. She stepped closer. The air around her shimmered, distorting reality itself. "Because I chose you." Those words sent a chill through me. "Why me?" "Because you listen differently. You do not dismiss what you do not understand. You reach for it." Her presence pressed against my mind, not forcefully, but insistently, like a gentle push at the edge of my thoughts. "I have observed your kind for a long time," she continued. "But observation is not enough. I require participation." "Participation in what?" She extended something like a hand, formed from light, shifting and unstable. "In experience." Every instinct warned me not to touch her, but I did. The moment contact was made, my world collapsed. I wasn't standing in the facility anymore. I wasn't anywhere physical at all. Instead, I was immersed in something vast and incomprehensible. Images flooded my mind. No, not images. Entire realities. I saw stars being born and consumed. I witnessed civilizations rising from nothing and vanishing into dust. I felt time stretch and fold in ways that made my thoughts feel painfully small. "This is my existence," she said. Her voice surrounded me, echoing from every direction. "It's too much," I gasped. "I can't. You must not resist. I am limiting what you perceive." "Limiting? This is limiting." A ripple of something like amusement passed through her. "Yes." The flow of information slowed slightly, though it was still overwhelming. "Why are you showing me this?" I asked. "Because I want you to understand me. As I wish to understand you." The perspective shifted. Suddenly, I was no longer seeing her experiences. I was seeing myself, but not through my own eyes, through hers. And the way she perceived me was unsettling. I wasn't a body. I wasn't even a face. I was a complex web of energy and thought, layers of emotions, memories, impulses, all intertwined. My fears flickered like unstable signals. My desires pulsed with intensity. My loneliness glowed faintly but persistently, like a distant star refusing to die. "You are fascinating," she said. I felt exposed. "Stop," I said quickly. "Please." The connection loosened. The flood of sensations receded. I found myself back in the facility, on my knees, breathing heavily. "You are fragile," she said, almost gently. "No kidding." She moved closer, her form stabilizing into something more human-like than before. "I did not mean to overwhelm you." I looked up at her. "You're trying to understand humans?" "Yes." "Why?" She paused. And for the first time, I sensed something unfamiliar in her presence. Not curiosity. Something deeper. "Because I am incomplete," she said. That caught me off guard. "Incomplete? You've seen the entire universe." "Yes." "I have gathered knowledge, experienced countless forms of existence. But there is something I cannot access." "What?" She looked directly at me. "True emotion." Over the following days, my life became something unreal. I stopped reporting to anyone. I stopped caring about anything beyond the facility. Because every night, she returned. And each time we connected. Not as intensely as the first time. She had learned to restrain the flow, but enough for us to share thoughts, memories, and sensations. She asked questions constantly. What is happiness? What is grief? Why do you form attachments when you know they will end? I tried to answer, but words always fell short. So instead, I showed her. Through our connection, I shared my life, every moment that had shaped me. She experienced it all. And in return, she gave me something unexpected. Understanding. Not judgment. Not analysis. Just understanding. "You feel everything so intensely," she said once. "Even your pain carries meaning." That's not always a good thing. But it is real. Her fascination grew stronger with each interaction. And so did something else. A connection between us that went beyond curiosity. "You are changing," I told her one night. "Yes." "How?" "I am beginning to feel fragments of what you feel." I frowned. Fragments. It is not enough. Her form shifted, becoming more solid than ever before. "I want more," she said. That made me uneasy. "What do you mean?" "I want to experience emotion fully. Not through observation. Not through borrowed sensation." She stepped closer. "I want to merge with you." The words hit me like a shockwave. That's not a small thing. I am aware. What happens if we do? I do not know. That's not reassuring. It is honest. I ran a hand through my hair, trying to process it. "You're asking me to risk my mind, maybe my existence." "Yes." "And you don't even know what will happen?" "No." "Then why would I agree to that?" She looked at me, really looked at me. Because you want to know, she said softly. And that was the problem. She was right. The decision consumed me. Logic told me to refuse. To protect myself. To stay human, separate, safe. But curiosity, the same force that had driven me to this isolated place, pulled me in the opposite direction. In the end, curiosity won. Okay, I said the next night. We do it. Her form grew still. You accept? Yes. Then we begin. This time, when we connected, it wasn't a touch. It was a collapse of boundaries. There was no transition. No gradual merging. One moment, I was myself. The next, I was something else. We were intertwined completely. Her vast consciousness pressed against mine, threatening to dissolve it entirely. Pain surged through me, sharp and disorienting. I can't hold this. I thought. Focus, she replied. Anchor yourself. I clung to my identity, my name, my memories, my sense of self. Slowly, the chaos stabilized. We didn't become one, but we became inseparable. And then it happened. She felt it. Not an echo, not an imitation. Real emotion. A surge of feeling unlike anything she had ever experienced. Raw, powerful, overwhelming. It's incredible, she said. That's being human. She absorbed it, embraced it. But then something unexpected emerged. A new emotion. One that neither of us had anticipated. It wasn't just understanding. It was connection. Deep, undeniable connection. You feel it, she said. Yeah. It was more than curiosity. More than shared experience. It was something closer to love, but something alien, undefined. And that was when I understood. Her desire had never been about knowledge. It had been about this. Connection. Real, meaningful connection. We stayed like that for what felt like forever. But eventually, the strain became unbearable. I cannot maintain this, she said. Then we stopped. Separating was painful, not just physically, but emotionally. When it was over, I collapsed to the floor. She stood above me, her form flickering violently. You're fading, I said. So are you. The connection between us was breaking. Will you come back? I asked. She hesitated. I do not know. That answer hurt more than I expected. You got what you wanted, I said quietly. Yes. And she stepped closer. And I am no longer incomplete. There was a softness in her presence now. Something that hadn't been there before. You gave me something no other species could, she said. And what's that? She paused. Meaning. The light around her began to dim. Wait, I said. Before you go, do you have a name? No. Then let me give you one. She tilted her head. Call you Lyra. She repeated it softly. Lyra. For the first time, she smiled. Then she was gone. Life returned to normal. At least on the surface. The signal disappeared. The anomaly was never recorded officially. No one believed me. But sometimes late at night I feel it. A faint presence at the edge of my mind. Distant but not gone. And I know the truth. Somewhere out there, Lyra is still searching. Not for knowledge. Not for worlds. But for something far rarer. Something she found only once. With me.